Hello, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can manipulate your text even further in Adobe Illustrator. Once you've created your text to outlines, when you click on it, it's always going to be grouped together. Sometimes you may want to ungroup it so that you can manipulate the text or the letters individually. You do that by going to Object, Ungroup, and when you click on the text now, it's individual letters. As designers, we sometimes like this freedom so that we can do a little more typographic work because we can now manipulate the letters individually. But there's other ways that you can manipulate your text in Adobe Illustrator. For a lot of this, you're going to want to go to the Effects palette. Most of these will have different effects on how you can manipulate your text. Most of these will manipulate the text in such a way that it's going to be kind of hard for you to understand what the text actually says. They're usually for a more advanced level of Illustrator knowledge, which we'll go into at a later time. Right now, I want to show you the warp features, which is something that's pretty basic and that anyone could use if they're just starting out. So under Effect, we're going to select Warp. And I'm going to select by default the first feature, which is Arc. Nothing's happening because I don't have the preview checked. Click Preview and you can see what the effect will do. As you can see, because the text is so close together, when I select this feature, it severely distorts it. However, you can manipulate the level of distortion. I'm going to adjust the bend a little bit, and because I have preview in, I'll be able to see what it actually does. It's really important to have the preview feature checked, or otherwise you won't be able to tell what effect you're rendering with the warp features. If you don't like the arc, there's other features that you can also experiment with as well. Again, I can distort how the text is going to appear. Be careful when you use these though, for if you distort the text so much that they start losing their personality, people won't be able to read these. In other words, it's getting hard for them to be able to read this as a T, an E, an X, and a T. Don't rely on a lot of the effects in any software to solve your design problems. You really have to kind of think in terms of how the text is going to read, because it's a message that you have to communicate to a person. A person who does not understand what you're thinking or what message you're trying to communicate to them. Once you have the text manipulated in a way that you're comfortable with, click OK, and the text is warped. When you click on the letter, you'll see its original personality though. To remove this feature, simply select the text, go to Object, Expand Appearance. Then that manipulates the text into a new path so that you can distort further. Without expanding the appearance, if you wanted to distort this line right here, you would have to do it through the original points. This can become really hard to do because you're looking at it in its original view, but you're trying to distort its warp view. Again, by selecting the text, and going to Object, Expand Appearance. It now puts it into a correct path, so if you wanted to manipulate this, you're clicking on the true text path that you can then manipulate it to how you want. And this is how you use the warp features to warp your text in Adobe Illustrator.